All right, ladies and gentlemen, how's it going? It's your boy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? It's your boy, Shazamm, the iPad producer. Got another video for you guys, and this one is it might be a little longer than normal. But what I'm going to show you guys is basically how I got my machine groups or kits as kits into BeatMaker 3. It's kind of a tedious process, but when you have all the machine expansions that I have, I mean, they're only $50 a piece. And then when you buy gear, they give you discounts, so you get them for like $25. But basically, what I'm saying is I took all my favorites in my machine. I took all my favorites. As you see, I have about 200 of kits. So I went through and I favored all my kits. I went to all my groups. Okay, first let me show you. I went through all these and got my favorites that I wanted to carry with me so I could have a mobile machine with me. And since BeatMaker 3 and Machine Studio 2, it's basically mirror images of themselves. I mean, granted, Machine came first, BeatMaker 3 came afterwards. BeatMaker 3 can do some things that Machine can't. Machine can do some things that BeatMaker can't. One thing notably that BeatMaker could do that Machine can't is sample to pads. I mean, my God, how can you not just push a button and sample to pads? But anyway, okay, before I start ranting, I digress. Okay, so happy video. Okay, so what we're gonna do, ladies and gentlemen, excuse me, is I'm gonna show you through my little tedious process. Okay, so what we would do is, let's say I want, well, first I'm gonna load up my template. So I'm gonna go to open desktop, and I did a little template. Okay, now I'm explaining to you what I did. Okay, basically what I did was I took every single sound and I just extended it all the way to about measure 4. Now the reason I did that is so when I saved the project, I initially was exporting the audio. So I had bounced it all the way out to the 4 measures or extended it to the 4 measures. So whatever, how this program or how this song is set up is every single sound is played at the same time. Now, since this is not an actual song that I'm going to be using, what I do is I just go to File, Save Samples with Project, and then I save it. And then all I do is I go to the next group, add the next group. And then what it's going to do is it's going to load the kit, but it's going to keep the song the same. So what I do is just I'll go File, Save Project As, name it what I want to, and then hit Save. Go to the next one, File, Save Project As with samples, and then bam. And then so what you get after that is an empty folder. What you get after that is a collection of groups. I mean, there's a collection of folders with all those sounds in them, which is ridiculously awesome. So, I mean, it took some time to do 200 or so, but if you take the time and just stick with it, you can make it happen. So what I did for that, okay, so once I got my collection, what I did was I went to this website, or I went to the Intua forums, and there's this thing called a batch kit creator for BeatMaker 2. So this, or actually, I'm sorry, it's a batch kit creator for BeatMaker 1. So, what I did was, I'm gonna put this link in the description too. So what this thing does is any sounds that you have in a folder, like any sounds that you have collection in a separate folder is going to make a BMK file for all those sounds in this. See how all these sounds are in here? And then that's obviously I've already made kits to BeatMaker 2, so this is not the right folder I wanted to show you. But what I'm saying is what every folder that you have, those sounds in there, if you use the batch creator, which is right here, it will create a BMK file. Now, what I did was back in the day before BeatMaker 3 even came out, I had did this for BeatMaker 2 because I wanted to have all my sounds from Maschine Studio in my iPad. Now, iMachine is Native Instruments' dumbed down version. When I say dumbed down, I should say retarded dumbed down version of Maschine in a 4-track form in the iOS and iPad and the iPhones. That program is first of all, they only use 16-bit samples. They don't use 24-bit samples like in the PC Mac version. So that's one thing I don't like. Second thing is you can't use MIDI. I can't use any of their stuff with it. So, okay, I'm ranting. Okay, back to at hand. Okay, so basically when you use this batch creator, I'm going to close this. So I'm going to click on the batch creator. And what it's going to ask you to do is it's going to ask you to go to the path of that folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the folder that I want to do this with. I have it on a separate drive. And I'm going to go to my sound library. I believe it's in BMK2. Okay, no, I'm sorry. I need to go back. I need to go back to Maschine. I need to go back to Maschine Kits. Now, what I did is this is basically the first half that I did. So what you do is you copy the address, and then you paste the address. Okay, now so I can show you. There's nothing in here, so it's just a collection of sounds. So I'm gonna back out of here. So what you do is you hit start. Now nothing happened, as you see. Well, visually nothing happened. You got no confirmation that it did its job. There was no loading. This program is so fast that it's already done. So if we go back to the Maschine Kits and I click on here, what is this? It's a BMK file. Now, currently BeatMaker 3 does not recognize BMK files. So here's where the super tedious part came through. So what I did was, well, before BeatMaker 3, for you guys, if this is a new step for you, you're going to have to open up BeatMaker 2. Open up this file because BeatMaker 2 opens up BMK files with no problems. BeatMaker 2 has BMK2 files. So what you can do is you open up this kit in BeatMaker 2, you save it as a BMK2 file, and then you open it in BeatMaker 3. Okay, so now that I have all my kits in BMK format, we got to get them on the iPad. I hate using iTunes because BeatMaker 2, you can't add anything. Well, iTunes doesn't allow you to add things into folders. It's only into the generic initial opening of the app. So I use iExplorer, I use iFunbox, I use a Japanese version. I forgot what it's called, Tunji or Tungbu, I think it is. Anyway, so what I do is, this is iExplorer. It's free. What I do is I click on apps right here, and then it allows you to access the file system in your iPad to a certain extent. So we're going to go ahead and go down to BeatMaker 2. We're going to double click. And then we have to click. Anytime you add anything to BeatMaker 2, you have to do it in the user folder or it won't add it. So we're going to click on user folder. And then I'm going to open up the folder that I want. And I'm just going to drag this folder in here, which is my Maschine Kits that I made. So right now it's copying all that. So probably I might. Okay, so what I'm going to do is once I copy everything into BeatMaker 2, then we're going to go to the iPad and actually show you what I'm doing in BeatMaker 2, which is obviously easy. I'm just opening up the files, resaving them, and then we're going to go back to the computer and show you what I do on the computer to get them prepared for easier access in BeatMaker 3. Because what I did is I took them from being BeatMaker 2 files and actually made them BeatMaker 3 files since BeatMaker 3 came out when it was a beta. So I've been doing a lot of work on my library. That's really why I haven't been doing any videos. I've been getting my iPad ready for me to be doing work on the fly. Because I'm a Native Instruments fanboy. And these new products, as you see on my desktop, I can't wait to get them. But I got a Maschine Studio, I got an S61, and I got the Maschine Jam. I just want them new ones. and they're still not. They're not. The MK3, the audio interface in it is core MIDI compliant, or is core, or is what is it? It's generic. You don't need drivers for it. But the actual MK3, you need drivers for it, so you can't use it with your iPad. You can use it as an audio interface, but you can't use any of the buttons as MIDI. So that kind of sucks. But the reason that is because of the way that it talks to the software, how so seamless it is, and with those screens, it's hard to make it. You have to have drivers for it because, from what they say, it's just not easy. From when I was talking to them, it's not easy to get those screens to be so general. So there's workarounds it on the PC, of course, but in Mac, but we're kind of stuck when it comes to that on PC. Okay, file transfer complete. Cool. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna close this out, and then we're going to bring up the iPad. Okay, so I believe I gotta bring up. Where's my Lonely Screen? Okay, now Lonely Screen is a free app, and it's what I use to screencast my iPad. So what you do is you go to your iPad, and then you go to the mirror. You go to control panel, and you go to screen mirror, and then you tap the Lonely Screen, and then my iPad should pop up. Voila. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to BeatMaker 2. Here you go. Oh, you know what we gotta do first? It's a downside to BeatMaker 2. We actually gotta go. You gotta go out of here. You gotta go to settings. You gotta go to BeatMaker 2, and you gotta reset the hard drive. I mean, not the hard drive, but you gotta reset or update is what they like to call it. Where is it? Update database. So now when I reopen BeatMaker 2, it's going to update all those kits that I put in. It's going to register them as actual kits. If you do not do this step, you will not see any of these kits in BeatMaker 2. Okay, so now that we are in BeatMaker 2, we're going to go to new project, drums. Going to hit the little, let me get this out the way. Go back, go to my content, and there is Maschine Kits. So we're going to go here. We're going to go to the first one, and there it is. So we just click on it, load. Now, it's going to do this for some of your files because in some of my folders, there's other things in there other than WAV files. So when that happens, this is going to pop up, and it says, well, obviously a TXT is not a WAV file, so you just hit X and then get out of there. And oops. And so you go up in there. Okay, so then what I do is I just go File, I tap it, and I hit Save. Now, here's where you can decide how you want to set up your system. Now, what I did was I would delete samples. So it just says 2 a.m. kit, and then I'd hit OK. Now I'm going to show you why I did that, because I'm going to go to the next one. So I'm going to we'll load the For Life kit. Now, I'm going to hit Save, and I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to go, oh, now I'm going to, that was my mistake. See, that was my mistake. Let me go back. So now what I want to do is, if I'm going to do it that way, I'm going to go Save Presets. And if I do it like this, I'm going to make sure I copy samples. And then I'm going to delete samples and hit OK. So now what it's going to do is it saved an entire new folder. So I could also do it to where, let me pick another. So now I'm going to load something else. I'm going to load the 1960s Compton. Okay, so now that that's loaded, I can go save and then just hit save. And I don't have to delete anything. Now, what it's going to do here is it's going to put the BMK file and the BMK2 file in the same folder. Okay, so we're gonna just hit OK. So now when we want to go to another one, let's go to the About Now. We're gonna load it, save, and then I'm gonna save this one with the samples because I wanted to make a new folder. So here we're gonna hit OK. So now, okay, oops, I'm sorry. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get out of here and we're gonna go back to the computer. Okay. So we're gonna go to the computer, and then we're going to go to iExplorer. Now what I generally do is I close the BeatMaker 2 app before I open it in iExplorer. Just so I don't brick, or just so anything doesn't go wrong. I don't want to have two things open at the same time, access something I maybe not am allowed to, and something gets messed up. So now the demo mode, the iExplorer 4, I'm using in demo mode, so you can do all this for free. Okay, so we're gonna go down to apps. I have a lot of apps, so then we're gonna go down to BeatMaker 2. I'm gonna double click on BeatMaker 2. Then we're gonna go to User. We're gonna go to Maschine Kits. And then if we look in the, we're gonna look in the Compton's file, or is it gonna let me get in there? Okay. Now, as you see, I have a BMK2 and a BMK. So when you load this into BeatMaker 3, it's not even gonna see that, I don't think. So you can either delete this file, or you can leave it. Now what I did was once I did them for every single file I had, what I did was I would go here when I have them all listed, and I would put in BMK up here in the search. And what it's going to do is it's going to give me all the BMK files. Now you see in here, they're already BMK2 files. But if I wanted to delete all the BMK1 files, that's how I would do it. And then I would just select them all and then just hit delete. And then you would have just the BMK2 files. So now what you do is when you go to BeatMaker 3, session. Now, if you go to BeatMaker 3, oh, I haven't done it yet. That's why. Okay, I didn't show you actually the step where, if you notice, when I look at this, you see when you tap on that, that's the BMK1 file, and it won't let me load it. So all these are the ones that I've already done. So if I go here, see how it's BMK2? Now see, that's the same thing you're going to get. But you're not going to get them for all of them. Because when I did it, if I go to my load banks, now what I did, once I made them all BeatMaker 3 files, I saved them. Like if I wanted to save this, you can go to File, and you go to Save Bank. You can save it in the main directories bank, and then you copy files. Because I'm going to delete the original, I'm going to delete the BMK file once I make a BMK3 file. So that's how I would do it. Then I would go save. And then when I want to access that, when I go here to load banks, all of my banks are in here. You see that? Now, all my pads that are 24 pads, I label them 24 pads, so I know that kit has 24 pads. Anything that has 16 is not going to have anything because I already know it's 16. 24, and then when there's 37, and then I got like 64 pads. So I know that it has 64 pads on there. So there's some upsides and there's some downsides. Like if I load here, see, you get nothing. These are all well, no, those are these are all my machine kits. Everything that has samples, these all came from Machine Studio. These are all Machine Studios. And these are 24-bit kits. These aren't the little punk ass 16 bits in iMachine. You know what I'm saying? So look at that. Look at that. I had to stop when I got to mostly putting in the ends because, oh my God, I had so many of them. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is how I basically have been setting up my samples. Or basically how I've used all of Machine expansion pack kits that I favorite. This is how I got them into BeatMaker 3. And as you see, I have a ton. When I go to load banks, it's a ton of them. I can favorite them just like I can in Machine software. I mean, if you look at that, that's really ridiculous. I mean, I have umpteen million sounds in my BeatMaker 3. I have a terabyte in Dropbox space. Now let me give you a quick Dropbox tip. Quick Dropbox tip. Okay, so where's my Dropbox? Okay, it's my Dropbox. Now what I did was I had the Dropbox when they gave you 5 gigs free. And then you see how it says your Dropbox is full? My Dropbox is not full. I just forgot to pay my $10 a month. And so in doing so, I realized that you can still access your Dropbox without paying that $10 a month. I know that sounds shitty, but I mean, you just can't add nothing to Dropbox. So I literally have my whole terabyte full of all of my stuff, all of my sounds that I can access anywhere. And I just literally paid my Dropbox for only about 3 months, and then I totally forgot. And you can still access, see if you see that, I can still access it, put it in anywhere. So that's, if you want to get a terabyte of cloud storage, basically for $10, order Dropbox and you don't pay for it no more. You didn't get that tip from me though. It's your boy Shazamm, and I'm signing out for this BeatMaker 3. How you get machine groups into BeatMaker 3. Holla at your boy. I'm out.